The portfolio is live. So here's the title page. This title page, I think it came up pretty nice. I had this idea for it, and the idea I thought was pretty good. It was like about making these like sketch models, these little sketch models, putting them in a pile, right? And then we have the more finalized sketch model that is, saturated, right? Indicating that that's the one I'm going with. So it's about like showing this iteration that a lot of these guys usually like. So it's supposed to be like a really kind of a vulnerable kind of title page, showing like all my mistakes, all the stuff that you don't usually see in this kind of gray pile. So hopefully that's supposed to be intriguing. Now, here we got got a nice photo of me, got the resume. Now, if you look closely, what you'll notice is that I'm trying to cut my thumb in this photo. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if a lot of these guys are going to be able to spot this joke that I'm trying to do. And, you may be thinking, well, it's kind of like unprofessional. Like, why are you doing this? Well, sometimes, like, it's good to, like, have some humor, lots of humor. So sometimes, it's not the end of the world, to, look like an absolute fucking idiot. And then, and then a little tip for the resume. Like, you'll see, like, a lot of people will just add, like, oh, I do Revit, I do all these software, right? But, like, pretty much everybody has the same stuff. And so, like, what I'm doing here, I'm saying, like, okay, like, I'm making a Revit column parametric family of these columns. If you saw my first architecture video, you may recognize this column. But I'm making like a family of these columns because it's kind of showing that you're like going like one step kind of further into Revit, for example. So it's one little tip. There was this other guy, apparently there's some story about this guy who made like an elephant in Revit. And so he showed everybody like how good he was in Revit by making this elephant, something that would be incredibly difficult to make in that particular program. So here we got a nice table of contents. I got a little kind of statement over here to the left. This is basically the same kind of statement I had already written for my portfolio trying to get into the school. And at the time, I remember thinking, like, this is a pretty good little piece of writing I did. I think I remember kind of workshopping it sort of like the whole day. Like, I kind of made it. And I don't know, looking back, it sounds maybe a little bit cringe, but it's still pretty good. It says, I am motivated to continue my journey in pursuit of what it means to uniquely and purposefully create. I know I have the raw skills to accomplish this goal. However, I also know that there is much more for me to learn until I truly feel accomplished. I am confident in my design abilities. Further, it is the bond between me and my creativity which I am searching to establish. I want to learn how to be a better, more optimal, and proud creator, such that I can best serve society. I know I will be able to progress on my journey working as part of this practice. Wow. This guy's fucking spitting. How fucking profound is this? Fuck me. Fuck me in the ass. So I don't know, man. We got, and then, we got kind of references, like, I take, the pictures, this one was, this column, right, for the first project in the table of contents is in reference to the resume. I got the second project, which is in reference to, the title page, right, so there's this kind of a double entendre going. It's probably not really the correct thing there, and so we got the first project here. I got this is still from that final project for my third semester, first semester, third year studio project, and if you look back to the before and the after, you can see that it's all there, but just at the time, like, I just didn't have the time to, like, get to this level. Like, ultimately, this was my end kind of vision for, my project just a couple months ago. But I just didn't end up having the time to actually get it to this final vision that I had. And so, I was happy I was able to get there. And then, I mostly kind of talked about this in my other video and stuff. We got some plans. I'm only including just these 2 plans, like, just enough to kind of tell the story. Like, I don't feel like I need to really throw all the plans in there. I don't really know what kind of advantage that has. So I just decided to only put these 2. And then, of course, here we have our math page to the right. And, the hope is that this will kind of set me apart. Because I don't know really any other architect that has kind of stuff like this in their portfolio. So that's what we're trying to do. And then this kind of array of columns got this text that I don't know, kind of seemed a bit messy, but I thought this kind of drawing I had of this person putting up one of these kind of columns, I thought that was pretty funny. The way that I drew it was I looked up different yoga poses. And so then I found this yoga pose called the Warrior One pose. So then I looked up the Warrior One pose, found all these people doing this pose until I found one with the correct kind of angle and perspective I was looking for. So then I just traced it. So I thought that was a pretty funny little anecdote. And then of course we have the grain. It's not really coming through too well on this. It just kind of looks more blurry. But we use the grain filter on this these gray colors. Add some texture. And then, so this project is new. I haven't showed it on this channel. I haven't really shown it publicly. Accessible housing. This is from second semester, second year. Now, for the portfolio, right, you're supposed to, put the best projects first, right? And, I think that's true for my the project I have first, as it is. Especially with it being the most kind of involved and complex project. But this project, I think, was the only project I have ever done. Also, the only project I've ever seen at the school where, the intention was, 100% like authentic to the particular site. Because like, like all the time, and I'll be the first to admit this, like when we come up with these intentions for the project, it's almost always bullshit. And that's true for me, and that's true for like everybody else that I hear them like presenting their projects. Just a bunch of bullshit. But this one was the only time like I was able to actually find like a truly authentic kind of idea. And the idea is that there's this curved, this project is on this curved crescent. So you can see this Dundas Street East, it's curved, right? And some of the surrounding buildings, what they'll do is they'll kind of curve their buildings, to fit the curve of the crescent, so that they call it the street wall is maintained. There's a street wall. Okay, and so what I'm doing for this project is I am creating these 3 volumes that are tangent to the curve. They are arranged tangentially to the curve along 3 equal kind of spaced points. And that ultimately was a pretty convincing idea, and it got received very well. And then the other kind of thing that got received well was this wall construction, this wall assembly drawing. Having got these punched window boxes, got these like these metal, like kind of, they look like it's supposed to look like it's wood, like a wood finish to these metal. I think at the time I said steel. I found these kind of steel, this product online I found, and I was kind of referencing that, but I don't know, steel's a little bit of a tricky one to have exposed. Sometimes you got to be really careful with it because it can rust very easily. So you just have to be careful how it's kind of finished and treated. Otherwise, you could just say it's like aluminum or something. So that was pretty good. And then obviously, like down here, we got this insane elevation of a house, right? Pretty fucked. I think it took me like 2 days just to draw this one elevation. And like, I think what I did at the time, I remember now, I drew this like at the very beginning of the project when like I didn't really have like much else to do, right? And this is something that I do now, is as I draw like these really detailed elevations of the buildings, like at the very beginning, right? So that I could just like have it at the end, because at the end you're like trying to like frantically work out, all the details of the project. Like you don't have time to be wasting on this kind of stuff. So that's why I do it at the beginning. So there we go. And the column grid is pretty complex for this project, because like it's pretty tricky to figure out how like the structure communicates kind of vertically, how the fire stairs work vertically. So it was pretty tricky, and I remember the viewers kind of knowing that, and they kind of appreciated that column grid. And then we got this library project. This was a first semester, second year, the final project for that semester studio. And this one was pretty gnarly. This was a pretty gnarly one. I kind of look back on that whole semester, that whole like studio project, and it just seems like so like trippy to me. Like it was as if like that was like some kind of blip in the matrix, kind of what happened. Like, I don't know, the amount of stories I got from that semester is pretty gnarly. But so we did this library project, and like this mega drawing thing to the right. I mean, to the left. To the left is I call it the Magnus Opus. You may think, oh, isn't it pronounced Magnum Opus? No, no, no. It's called Magnus Opus. And so, like, I don't even know really where to start. But this entire drawing was, like, not a part of the assignment. This is all extra stuff I was doing, right? And I remember, like, I was, like, really pissed off at the time in school. I was incredibly pissed. I was fucking furious for this, like, couple months. Because these guys were, like, giving me such shit grades. And so I was, like... And I didn't understand why at the time. Now I understand why it was kind of happening. But at the time I didn't understand. And I was just, like, taking out all my anger on this drawing. And I was all extra. And like, as I was kind of, like, looking around at these, like, kind of other sort of mega drawings like this, line drawings, I noticed that they would often have, like, these, like, hands. You see these hands that would, like, come in and they would, like, pick up, like, a piece of the building or something, right? And I kind of thought that was pretty cringy until I came up with this idea to have these puppet hands coming down, and then you know, the leader lines, the dashed leader lines that you use to, like, connect, you know, the corners, right, of these axos and these isos, whatever. You know, you usually have these dashed leader lines, you know, at the corners. And so I was like, okay, well, what if I extend those up to be the strings? Oh, fuck. That's pretty good, eh? And so, you know, kind of thinking back to that makes me laugh a little bit. It was pretty funny. So we got the Magnus Opus drawing. We got the roof plan, and then the section comes up like that. And I remember one of the reviewers kind of noticed that without me even having to say it. So that was pretty cool. Because I wasn't too sure if that was really clear or whatever, but it was good. And then the other kind of funny sort of anecdote about this is that I got these axos. You can just make them very quickly in Revit. Like if you already have your model built, it's not too difficult to prepare these drawings. You know, you could just look up a tutorial on it on YouTube, and you know, you'll be able to find it, like how to make an exploded axo of your model in Revit. And so I took that. I took the line work, put it into Rhino, right? But my computer, in its infinite wisdom, my computer's a little fucked. It has some issues. It overheated right when I got it, and I think it, like, melted some of the soldering. So it's like kind of it has some hardware issues, some kind of minor issues. And it wouldn't let me at the time explode the lines in this drawing. And so, like, the hatches were all, like, weird, and, like, the reason I wanted to explode it was because I just wanted to delete the hatches on this floor. All this wherever there's black, there was, like, this, like, these like stupid hatches that were, like, all kind of wrong, you know. You can sort of see it in this one here, but it doesn't really matter too much. So what I ended up doing in the last kind of final days, as I was trying to, like, finally put this together, is I just, like, adjusted the line weight to be really big, to be really thick. That way it would just look black, right? The hatch would just look solid black, you know, if I just jacked up the line weight, and so that was a funny kind of solution I came up with really quickly on the fly to kind of save this kind of drawing. And then for the final review, one of the guest reviewers said that it was really cheeky that these axos were so small in comparison to the bigger kind of drawing. I thought it was kind of cheeky that they were so small, these drawings, and I thought that was just kind of funny because, you know, these types of drawings, like, you know, it takes 2 seconds in Revit to put those together. Oh wait, and then this render is also a funny story here too. So I made this, I remember, on the last day, and basically how I did it was I took the like a perspective in Revit, you know, just like a line work, you know, perspective, right? At this particular corner, I had a picture of the site, right? And then I go into Photoshop, I take my line work from Revit, I put over top of the picture, and then like the perspective wasn't quite right because it's incredibly challenging to, like, you know, line it up, right? So, you know, you perspective warp it in, right? And then I took the image layer, I made it like look like it was lines. Like, there are some different filters you can do, make it look like lines, whatever. So I did that, and then I took that, I put it into this website that's not up anymore, unfortunately. And you know, like I can't remember exactly the process, but like what it does is it like applies like these like textures and, you know, the lighting and the atmosphere, and does all this kind of stuff to make it look like an architecture rendering. So then I do that in this website, and it comes out looking like this, and it was pretty incredible. Like I couldn't have really asked for a better result. Like the way it just ended up working out, you know, I couldn't have asked it to work out any better than this. Like it was pretty, like I got incredibly lucky that it came out looking like this. And I remember one of the guest reviewers was pretty impressed by this rendering, even though it was like, you know, mostly kind of like AI sort of stuff. And then I took that, I brought it back into Photoshop. You know, I was able to kind of change some things and adjust, you know, some stuff. And it was just kind of like, kind of amazing how like this kind of like scotch tape and matchstick kind of putting together was able to somehow work at the end. I remember I was pretty happy at the time. And yeah, like, but you know, I think like in the future, like all rendering will be done by AI and stuff. So it'll be pretty interesting to see where that goes. And then again, you know, we just got some plans, pretty basic plans. I remember at the time being very proud of the plans that I had made for this project. But then like looking back, I did have to make a few changes. And a lot of this stuff, there were some pretty stupid mistakes that I made. So looking back on it, you know, it was pretty interesting to see all these stupid mistakes I made in the plans. And so I wonder if maybe in like another year or two, I'll look back on my work and think, oh, what the fuck was I thinking? So who knows? And then, you know, this section is probably one of the best drawings I've ever done. And the original draft of what I did for this project, for the submission, Uh, it only took me like 2 days to actually make the drawing, and then to like add more detail on after for this drawing in the portfolio, I probably spent another 2 days or 3 days adding shit to this drawing. And so I think it came out pretty nice. Probably actually even more. Probably even. I think I spent like another like 2 days after, like on the winter break or something, to like post it to my Instagram. And then yeah, like maybe I'll say it took me like, I don't know, like an entire week of like, probably 7 days in total to make this, not including the Revit model, right? And so you take a section in Revit, and then you can't make a perspective section like this in Revit very easily. Like there is a way to do it, but it's very kind of bullshitty. So the best way to do it is just to bring it into Rhino, and then take the section in Rhino, and you need to find a tutorial on how to make it a 2-point perspective as opposed to a 1-point perspective. I'm pretty sure is what I did, if I remember correctly. And so yeah, it's pretty fucked. Now, one thing I can talk about is this art gallery over here. This was actually my professor's idea at the time, to put like a piece of art here to make it, to like kind of communicate the full height of this particular space. And I should say the other reason why like there are so many like full height spaces, we got one here, is just because of like the nature of the program that they assigned. Like they assigned like very little program for the size of the space, and so that's the reason why there's so much like grand kind of spaces. And then there's on one of these houses there's this famous kind of mural. It's in this really really gay part of town. Queen Street is not too far north. I'm pretty sure that's more the kind of the mecca of the gays in Toronto. And so there's this kind of famous mural that is there, and it gets kind of changed out every few years or so. And so we kind of drawing this mural in perspective of this trans man, woman, whatever the fuck it is, was really quite the experience drawing that. Drawing as I was clicking around the tit. That was really quite the profound experience, clicking around this drawing of the tit. It was pretty crazy. This library project was definitely my most like dominant project in comparison to my peers. However, the grade was pretty shit. I only got a 70. So that's really how they get you. And the reason was just because I was not playing the game. I wasn't playing the game with my little professor there, studio professor. I just wasn't playing the game. I was just kind of going a little too rogue. So if you want good grades, I would recommend do not go rogue like me and play the game and kiss some ass and come up with a bunch of stupid ideas. To show your professor along the way, oh, look at this stupid idea I came up with. Look at this stupid idea. Oh, look at all these sketches I did. And so that's it. You got the thank you page at the end. I put a little nice little watercolor line sort of perspective of a pavilion project I did, which I did not include in the portfolio. But I thought it would just be kind of nice to, why not? Just throw it in there. It's pretty nice, pretty why not? And so that's it. This is my portfolio. The link I'll put in the description. Last video I teased a little file that I'm gonna share, and so to reward you for sticking to the end of my waffle, I am going to be giving you a heads up on this Google Drive folder that I have also in the description to this kind of file that I have. I'll put most of my projects in there, the line work for my projects, but the main thing is it's just got all it's got all my stuff in there, like all my line weights. It's got all all the furniture I use. So I'll use this kind of furniture if I'm just trying to make a quick little plan, rather than, fiddling around with these fucking blocks. I just have these pre-drawn, elements of furniture and different things like this. I put in this file, so I'll pull that up now. It's this one over here, this file over here. I'm gonna clean this up before I upload it to this folder. But when it opens up, it'll look something like this. And so every single time I open up a new project, I just copy these line weights and then just copy and paste it into my new project. That way I have all the line weights that I need here. And I don't have to waste time making new layers and shit. And then I have all the paper sizes. You don't need to, when you print your drawings, you don't need these paper sizes. You can just set the scale in when you go to print it. But I like having the border of the paper. That way I can actually see how my drawing fits on the page, right? So that's why I like kind of doing it like this. And so I've got all the paper sizes there. I've got this gradient of dots that took me hours to make. If maybe, so who knows, if you want a gradient of dots, I got you. I got a gradient of dots. I haven't ever ended up using this though. Unfortunately, I haven't used it. But and then so this is what I was talking about. I got a bunch of fire stair examples. If you need a fire stair, if you need some elevators, I got you. You just copy and paste it, boom, boom, into your plans. Got all kinds of stuff. I got doors. I got some tables. You could at the very end, if you make an elevation, right? You can just throw a bunch of this shit into your elevation to make it look more complex and more lines. So who knows? Got the elevation of a nice couch. This is for a coffee shop. So in section, if you have a section in the coffee shop, you can just throw this in there. Got a nice barbecue. And I got a nice spiral staircase. We got a nice cafe plan here. You just boom, boom, copy and paste everything. We got a nice closet. These are my gloves. These are my old shoes that I had. Just if you're in plan, if you need to draw a little place where you hang your jacket and your gloves and your shoes, if you need something like that, you can just copy and paste this little cabinet. You got some more doors. Got some details. I think I don't know. Got some plants. Where are the rest of my plants? Got people. Got all kinds of people. Got some plants. I just DXF'd these, took a nice picture, converted it to a DXF, and these plants, these organic forms ended up coming out pretty nice. They look pretty good. Got all kinds of buses and streetcars and shit, perspective shit. Got a nice cloud. You need a nice cloud. Got all kinds of shit. If you want to make some trees, this is from the Magnus Opus drawing. If you want to do that, got my nice puppet hand. To get the other hand, you just mirror it. You know, got the artwork. And we got all these elevations of houses. So if you ever need to make an elevation of a house, you know, you can like use one of these, copy and paste around the different elements and make some elevations of houses really quickly. And these images I should delete. That way they don't like take up as much like file size. And we'll figure out how to delete that after. And yeah, this was from a different project, I think. And then this one was the from the Magnus Opus. Well, actually no, this one's missing the brick hatch. The bricks here, it's missing that. And then yeah, here are most of my projects. See, so who knows, man? Maybe this'll be useful. Yeah, this is see, it has the brick hatch there. Perfect. And you know, and so that's it. I'm also gonna be putting my Instagram in the description of this video. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can see all my projects more interactively there. And I'll follow anybody back, you know. So we could do a nice follow for follow. And really that's going to be it. If you can subscribe, you know, in as a thank you for me giving this file, you know, that would be incredibly appreciated, you know.